Okay, game one, I think the team's excited to get rolling. You know, it's obviously an exciting time of the year. Probably the most important thing to give you today is we're going to start off with Eli Holstein to start the season at quarterback, and then we'll play it from there. As I said earlier, both quarterbacks will play. We got a lot of faith in both of them, but a lot of hard work by Eli in preparation and everything. It's kind of where we felt as a staff we'd go. So I'm excited for both those guys, and we'll continue to move on from there. Questions?
What was the point that you realized Eli could be the starter here?
You know, I think it's just, just little by little. It's just, something, obviously we looked at practice this week and completion percentage, all the little details, just felt like you guys come a long way and he deserved to get that nod.
Is it still an open competition? Is Nate going to have a chance?
It's still an open, it's still an open competition. We find out what happens on game days. I think that's the only time when these scrimmages are hard to say, who's who, and that's really every position. We'll find out on game day.
You said they will still both play on Saturday?
Yes.
What was Eli's reaction to receiving that news?
A little tear in his eye. Put his head down, hand in his face, and was obviously excited. So I'm happy for him, and can't wait to go watch both of them play.
What was Nate's reaction?
Understanding. He's a team guy. He's selfless. About as good a team guy as you're going to have in that locker room. He sees the little things too, and he was great.
When it comes down to it, Coach, when you guys make that final decision of who will be the starter moving forward, how much, influence does Cade Bell have in that decision, or what are those conversations like?
Cade's got to be the number one. He sits in that meeting room, like I say always. We'll have conversations a lot, and we talk about it. At least every 2 days in my office, we sit down and say, okay, how's it going? And there's good communication, but it's got to be can't be one guy. And again, I trust Cade, to make the right decision. But if I ever feel that it's a wrong decision, I'm going to step up and veto.
What plans do you have as far as how you're going to divide up the division of labor?
We're still working and find out how it's going. We haven't had a set plan yet, but we'll kind of plan that as we go.
Did you start to play longer if
We'll
he's
plan it
doing
as
well?
we go. If things are going well, yeah. If things are going really good, and we're moving the ball and being productive, then we'll stick with it a little longer. If things aren't going so well, play by ear.
You went through the offseason, you came out of spring camp, Nate's the guy, you take Nate down to Charlotte, you go into training camp, Nate's the guy. Do you remember a point in camp where Eli did something and you said, wait, there might be something here, there might be a real chance of this happening?
Yeah, maybe midway through camp, I guess, and you just watch him continue to get better every day, make good decisions with the ball, and it's all about the ball, guys. The ball is the ball game, and protecting the football, making smart decisions is critical, and now you got to go out and do that in the game as well.
How did the rest of the team react?
Just like any position, it's a great question. Just like any position, we don't make it like a major announcement. I have no idea. I have no idea. It's not like we have a team meeting, to name it. But we don't name the starting D tackle or the starting DN or the starting left tackle. Everybody kind of feels it, and no one's come into my office and said, hey, Coach, what's going on here? So.
Cade's offense is about fast pace, which means a high volume of plays, needing to know a lot of details really quickly. How have you seen Eli taken on as a redshirt freshman? It's a young guy to be taking on a quarterback's in general responsible, but now you're making more decisions with more things to consider. Yeah,
he's been cool. He's just, to me, Eli and Nate both are just like this every day. They do a great job with, operation of the offense. Again, it's going to come down to game day. Like, what do you do on game day when the lights are on and 12:07 comes? And we think both of them will, operate the right way.
I appreciate you telling us today, and I actually thought you'd wait to warm-ups on Saturday, so we'd have to watch warm-ups. Now I can go to breakfast, But what made you decide to announce it 48 hours before the game?
I don't know. Because I felt like it. But you're welcome.
What do you need to see from this offense on Saturday?
The first thing that comes out is just operation. I want to see execution. Saturday's not going to be perfect. There'll be hiccups along the way, but I want to see details. I want to see us just, pay attention to details. There's going to be a TFL in the run game. There's going to be a wrong misread in a route. There's going to be a throw that gets buried in the ground. It's gonna happen. But just the details, operation and, getting lined up properly, not having false starts, all those little things that kill and stall drives.
What do you need to see from your defense tomorrow to consider it a successful day?
The number one thing, we better stop the run. Kent, they like to run the football. Head coach is a running back guy. He wants to get his tailback, who I think is, one of the better players on our football team. The quarterbacks, they're gonna run RPOs, but we better stop the run. If we give up an RPO, I'm not gonna be as concerned as if we give up a run. I mean, to be successful this year, we have to stop the run. We did not do that last year. The year before we did, 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 and I wanna get back to doing that.
Sorry.
Why is this team going to be better at stopping the run this year than it was last
Well, I
year?
think it's gonna have help from the offense. That's gonna be number one. And, I just think we're built to do it, and we just gotta play within ourselves.
Nakai said recently that, he thinks this team is better built to stop the run because he said, we know what it's like to suck against the run. So do you think them having that experience last year?
Yeah, I guess they found out the hard way. I don't like to find out the hard ways. It takes details, and it's good that Nakai said that, but, it's critical. I think they found out how critical it was. Sometimes again, you gotta get woken up first. I don't have to get woken up. You guys have heard me for 10 years say how important stopping the run and making a team one-dimensional is. We've gotta be able to run the ball on offense, and we've gotta be able to stop the run, make a team one-dimensional.
Is stopping the run the biggest factor as far as you guys not being able to be high at the pass rush production last year? You feel like that was the biggest factor, and you guys get that part down, the sacks will come like they did for, I think it was 4 straight years, top 3 in the country?
Yeah, I mean, I think that happens. I mean, we still probably weren't awful with the sacks, but yeah, it happens when you stop the run because you get people off. We don't want it to be 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5, offense can do whatever they want to, right? 2nd and 6, again, a good down there. We want to put them behind the sticks. When it's 2nd and 9, an offense has got a decision to make, right? You go, it's 3rd and 9. Nobody wants to be 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. So that's critical. I think you guys saw that yourself.
Do you have a routine on game days?
Say that again?
Like something you do every week to get ready for a game, maybe?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it, but I think everybody's got a routine. I got a routine every single day, not just on game days, but,
Do you still, after all these years, do you still get jitters? Especially before the first game?
yeah, are you kidding me? I think every coach will get jitters. I think every player will have jitters. And, there's good stress and bad stress. When you're prepared, you should be nervous, I think. It's when you're unprepared that you got issues.
Do you have an idea, have you guys decided who's going to start at running back, along with Eli out there?
Desmond Reed will start at tailback tomorrow.
What did he do to earn that job over Rodney with his experience with the team?
He's been explosive, he makes plays, he's a great pass protector, and he's just been really consistent and stayed healthy.
Do I don't want to say do you envision like a 50-50 split with those two guys?
Might be 30, 33, whatever. I tell you, Derek Davis has been impressive. I've told you that in the last couple of weeks. That guy's been a war daddy running back right now, so I like where he is as well.
You also put an or between Dejon Reynolds and Kenny Johnson. Where do you see those two at wide receiver right now?
Our starting receivers, Dejon's one of those guys. Kenny Johnson, is doing a nice job. He's back 100%. There'll be a good 4-man, 5-man rotation, at least 4-man rotation. Dejon will probably be over, with Kanante a little bit more than over with Kenny, but, Dejon's special because he knows everything, That's a lot of pressure to put on a kid, but he's really smart. He knows all those spots. Sometimes I think we hurt him by giving him too much to learn, putting too much on his plate. But I've been impressed with his football knowledge.
I feel like Rodney was a guy we didn't really talk about much during camp. What kind of camp did he have with the new offense?
He's had a good camp. He's had a good camp, and we're happy with where he's been.
You listed 5 potential starting defensive tackles. Obviously, you can't start all 5. Do you have your groupings as far as who will pair with whom?
We'll watch the practice today. They don't have to pair with one. It's not like if this guy's in, that guy's got to go in. But we'll look at what they did today at practice and try to make a decision on that one. I'm not going to give Jerry too much ammunition.
So you
It's already
guys,
thankful. It's already thankful Thursday.
you guys are more individually based on who gets in there more than like finding tandems who work well together.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Do they
Tandem
just
doesn't
break
matter.
down like, you know, 3 technique, bigger run stuffer guy? I mean, do you kind of have that separation at least?
We'll have a field end and boundary end, you know, sometimes we'll have a 3 technique depending on the offense we're facing, what we know about what they do and where we gotta be firm, but, they better, you know, the problem with the 3 in the shade nowadays is, you know, Kent State will trade their back and they'll trade them really fast, and, you know, there's times when we're gonna trade our front, there's times when we're not gonna trade our front. But, you know, those guys, I mean, if you have just a true 3 technique and a true nose, and they know that, they're gonna trade their back even more. So our guys have gotta be able to play both sides, period. And, so it's really not a 3 technique, you know, the field can't change for a defensive end, but, you know, the inside, you know, their tailback is gonna flop a lot. They're gonna have a lot of motion. I don't know if they're gonna huddle up or go tempo or what they're gonna do, but we do know that they love to motion, and they will be flopping their back a lot, which we'll have to, you know, do a good job of that with our Mike linebacker.
How about a couple final before we wrap up?
Some of the stuff going on in college athletics, are you happy to be able to go into your Oasis in an extra stadium and just put everything aside and just focus on football?
No question about it. I've been happy since August out here, so that hasn't changed. I mean, you know, it's nice to be focused on football and nice to get an extra stadium. The college season is officially starting for us.
But the game is the thing that really drives the other stuff. You try to set that aside unless you're forced to talk about it.
Yeah. Everything, you know, it's football season. It's what it is. It's all football. It's all football.
Coach, thank you.